Ah, welcome back to another episode of the Players Ball Podcast for AT Aliens by AT Aliens. I'm your host, Alex the Great. I'm joined by my brother from another, MB. And man, what a time to be an Atlanta fan. Before we dive into the misery, like, subscribe. Um, I, you should like it right now. Go ahead and like it just because it's us and you know us and you love us. Go ahead and give us that like. But subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate everybody that does that. And we'll shout you out by name. We'll plug your business, whatever you want us to do. Just throw a comment on there. We'll do it. All that said, we're just gonna talk Falcons. Hootie hoo. Before we dive into that, man, we talked last week about what a nightmare the Braves season was, and we talked about how we were thankful for United being done, good riddance. Um, we expressed hope for the Hawks. But in the offseason, man, I really thought that the Falcons were going to be different. They were going to provide a light for the city. I don't think I could be more disappointed, man. So let's jump in. Who do you? Falcons talk.
From the gridiron to the hardwood, you know you got to keep your eyes on the birds. Let's talk Hawks. Let's talk Falcons. This is Hootie Hoo.
We lost badly. Final score was 34-10 to the 1-6 Dolphins. It was really 34-3. Got a garbage time touchdown that meant nothing. Means nothing, Jon Snow. Um, the environment was depressing to the point we left early. A couple of minutes into the fourth, they scored again, and it was like, okay, you know what? It's not worth our time. Let's go and see if we can get into one music fest. And we did. It was brutal in there, man. Like people were upset. So you shared a video with me, Smoking Joe, Patrick of 929 The Game, talking about the game, right? The experience that was being in there. And he shared some thoughts on the fans, right? That there not being any juice. I can speak to that specifically. The Dolphins were heavily represented. I don't know if, it was just a lot of ticket sales or what, but they had a lot of fans in the building. But the Falcons fans were there. We were there. We were in seats. We were there early. Um, Not necessarily in the seats, I told you, but we were in the arena and we were rooting for the home team, man. And then the train wreck began, and it was easy to see that things were not going to take the shape that we wanted. Um, and quickly, the tone of the game changed. People were not at all excited. Everyone was clamoring for change, clamoring for somebody to be fired. They want blood, and I'm one of them. You fire a wide receiver coach after a 30-0 loss away. What do you do after an even worse beating, in my opinion, to the Dolphins? What do you do? Who do you fire? Where do we go from here?
So, uh, there's a lot to unpack there, right? A
Yeah,
lot of emotion. As far as Smoking Joe Patrick goes and his comments about um, just kind of the loss in general, but he made a statement where he said around this time of year, the Benz tends to see a lull. The fan base isn't as energized, and he kind of, you know, in my opinion, kind of clapped at the fans. And to me, I I take a little bit of offense to that, and I'm not there. I'm not in the stadium, um, but I'm a customer, right? And the the Falcons experience is the um, the product, right? And if they're not putting a product on the field for me to get excited about, like, it's not my responsibility to get them juiced up, right? They're making millions and millions of dollars. Their job is to perform on the field and excite the city and the fan base with W's. And if they were putting that on the field, I guarantee you that place would have been rocking. So that's
100%.
my take there. And
Before
not
you move it off of that, like
okay.
his thoughts on there and that low, I will agree with the sentiment that, mid-season, um, people start checking out, selling their tickets, but it's because the result is because of the product that they're putting on the field, just like you said. If we're 3-4, at the third of the way through the season every year, there's not going to be a lot of fans that are enthusiastic about getting in the building. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back off the last 8 years, right, there hasn't been a whole lot to be excited about as a Falcons fan.
8-9, 7-10, 7-10, 7-10, 4-12, 7-9, 7-9.
So,
Those are our last seasons.
and you got to also take into account, like, you're coming off a Monday night where they look lackluster, right? Like, there was nothing to be excited about, coming off of that Monday night loss to the 49ers. So we've now lost 2 in a row off of a, really good victory against the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football. Since that game, we haven't looked like the same team. We haven't had the same energy. We haven't had the same juice, and we haven't performed. Now, you made a comment about early on in that game last night or yesterday. You could tell that things were not going to go our way. I think I texted you within the first drive. Miami got the first possession, right? And on that defensive drive, we ended up forcing a punt. But I started texting you immediately saying, this is terrible. Like, we look awful. And you were not in the seats at that time, and I told you to get your butt to the seat. But to your point, like, you could tell very, very early that the team was not ready to play, and they weren't going to give us anything to get excited about, happy about, joyful about, right? Like, it was going to be a miserable day. And it was.
It was, and it wasn't. Like it started. One of the things that started me down the spiral was the challenge that he had for that first down in the first quarter. Everyone in the stadium saw that he got that. They replayed it before he challenged it. So for Ra to come and challenge that, it's a litany of mistakes, right? The last week we had 10 people on the field doing a very important third and long. This week, things are building up, man. The case against him is almost ironclad now, right? For him to no longer be the coach. Now, I'm not a mid-season firing kind of guy. I don't think that's going to do anything. I don't necessarily want Jeff Ulbrich as the head coach because, he just had a chance at that in New York. It did not go well. The defense, I mean, after yesterday, I don't even want to give them any credit, right? I've seen these posts talking about you let a one-eyed Tua, because apparently he had pink eye and half his face is swollen. You let him come in there and look like Tom Brady. He diced that defense up, right? We've had some injuries. Divine Diablo was out. Billy Bowman was out. There was significant inactives.
Zach Harrison was out.
Zach Harrison was out. And those three guys have been incredibly crucial to the success of the defense. They've been heavy contributors to when we played well on defense. So there were injuries, but you don't let a 1-6 team come in your house and do you like that.
Yeah, I think that's
fan bases. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that point right there is what is, I think, the most concerning about the situation. It was at home, right? Like, you lose 30-0 on the road, it's inexcusable. But you clap it up to uh, you're at Carolina, whatever. You had an off day. You go out to San Francisco on a short week, right? But you're at home, where you should dominate, and you let a 1-6 team come in and embarrass you.
Embarrassed. The fans were standing up like everybody's in their floral Miami gear, and there was nothing that we could say because it's not like they're not degenerates like Philly fans or Saints fans. They were just excited to see their team finally turn a corner, and what a turn they made.
Yeah, it's
I really don't. I mean, I don't want to say that the season is over, but it definitely starting to feel that way. Like this is another lost season for the Falcons. Playoffs seem very far out of reach, just because the other teams that are ahead of us seem to just be a little bit more competent.
that, and it's the schedule does not get much easier from here, at least in the next
It
couple
does.
weeks, right? Like, you're gonna go up to New England against a team that's in the top of its division, and then you got to go play in Berlin against the Colts, who are another top team in their division, right? Like, you're not going up against a bunch of slouches. You had an opportunity against Miami, a team that statistically, in every way, shape, or form, you were better than going into the game, right? Like, you're talking about the worst run defense in the league, and they absolutely took away the run game.
And they only ran Bijan 9 times. I know that's game script. You got behind and you thought you needed to pass, but the pass wasn't working either, man. Run the ball. That's what we've been good at. The Zach Harrison haters are back out. I'm not a fan. Just about how
Zach Robinson.
embarrassing Robinson, Zach Robinson, how almost embarrassing the play call is at this point. Like how predictable it is, how thin the playbook is. Like Mike Johnson was, he looked tortured. I actually watched him on Twitter during the live show. He just looked. He's in a place of disbelief, man. Just ultimate frustration, and I'm right there with him. This was supposed to be a year. We set the expectation. All right, I said I want a playoff win, and now I don't know. We make the playoffs, man.
And I said our ceiling was the Super Bowl, okay?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, these bums. So, trade deadline is coming up next week. Do you think we do anything? Do you think we make a change? Is somebody gonna be fired?
Someone, according to Raheem, is not going to be fired. I don't know if you saw the press conference today, any of the words, but he basically said he had the utmost confidence. And I think that's the most angering thing you could say to the fan base right now. What do you have confidence in?
Right.
Like, that's just disrespectful to suggest that you have confidence in what's happening in the building right now. Like, or if you expect me to believe that, right? And if you truly do believe that, then that's another just added on to the list of reasons why you will be fired by the end of the year. And if you're not, then shame on Arthur Blank.
So, do you think he finishes the season?
I don't want him to. I'll tell you that much. And I don't disagree with you that making a change mid-season won't do much good, but it will at least signal to the fans that this isn't acceptable.
Mm-hmm. there are others who are calling for Arthur to sell the team too. Like I was when we did sit down, we were talking to the guys around us, and they're like, "Yeah, none of it's going to get better with the owner because he keeps hiring all of these guys. You got to go to the very top to
You know,
right the ship."
I've been in that seat for quite a few years, and like I try to give Arthur Blank the benefit of the doubt because for as much as we dislike what's going on with the team, it could be a Tony Wrestler situation, it could be a Liberty Media situation, and it's not,
Mm.
right? At least Arthur is willing to go out there and spend and do some things to try to win. Misguided maybe, but I feel like with the right personnel in the building, they have the means.
Yeah, to get it done with Arthur still at the helm. You saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to get behind it, right? Just because of the last coaches that we've had. Ra, I mean, I would say has not worked out. Arthur Smith did not work out. Dan Quinn had some success. Um, Probably the best Falcons coach that we've had, say, the last 20 years.
Is he? I don't think
Yeah.
he is statistically.
I mean, we got to the mountaintop under him. And then even the year after we lost, we came back that next year and made the playoffs again. We were in the playoffs, that's not all Dan Quinn, right? Matt Ryan quarterbacking your team's gonna have a high probability of getting you into the playoffs if the team is any good.
But I mean, I'd have to do the research, but I think when you look at just like sustained successful seasons, I believe Mike Smith is the most successful head coach.
It says winningest coach, yeah, Mike Smith, 66 and 46. So what does that say? Because I wanted Mike Smith gone for a long time.
I think, his message just started to
Really,
just kind of started to fall on deaf ears, especially when it was like the Falcons aren't soft or the Falcons aren't tough. The Falcons are soft. That whole debacle, the Hard Knocks situation, and the decline in the performance on the field, and then same kind of thing with Dan Quinn. After a while, the message just didn't resonate, right? Like the brotherhood, like it just
yeah,
what
got stale.
what matters the most is what happens on the field. And if what's happening on the field isn't aligning with the message that you're sending in your press conferences and to the fan base, like your job's gonna get hot, right? Like your seat's gonna get hot because the fans are gonna start calling for your head. And that's exactly what happened with those. I don't think Arthur Smith's message ever resonated with the fans. And I'm starting to feel very much the same sentiment when it comes to Raheem Morris, especially when you come out after the game yesterday and say things like, in the NFL, if you don't come out prepared, things like this can happen. Well, why the hell aren't you prepared?
Yeah.
What else do you have to do during the week? You have
Sure,
one
what job?
freaking job. You play for what? 4 months out of the year? Right? Like, worry about all that other crap the other 6 months. We're in season.
Yeah.
Do your job.
Yeah.
And then to come out and say on top of that today that you have the utmost confidence in the staff and there won't be any changes, like, this is twice. Like, this isn't an anomaly, right? You came out after the Carolina Panthers game and said how that was such a significant loss for the franchise and this and that. And you turn around and lay a dud at home in the same season within the same 4 weeks, 5 weeks, right? Like, it's inexcusable, and I'm right with the fan base that's pissed off, upset, and ready to see a change right now.
What's worse for me is that I don't really see a way out of it, right? Like, say they do fire. So I hear what you said, that he said he's not going to do anything this week, right? But say they do fire Zach Robinson, and you install somebody else.
Who?
The way that that Mike Johnson was like, well, you're still going to have the same playbook. You can't install a whole new playbook mid-season. So things are still going to look like trash. The best thing that can happen is the offseason, right? I mean, that is the only time where a proper reset is going to be able to happen. And to not be halfway through the season and I already feel like, everything is lost and there's no corrective action that can be taken sucks, man. It's an awful feeling, right? Baseball, 162 games. Strange things have happened on the second half of a season. Basketball, 82 games. A lot can happen, right? You go on a 10, 15 game run. In either of those sports, you can change your stars. Football, once you're sank, you're kind of sank, right? You don't have the opportunity to go on a 10 game run, a 9 game run. We have it in front of us now, but what is the expectation that that's going to happen? It's near zero for me.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying completely. I don't think we've hit that inflection point yet, as you said. Like, we're not sunk, but we're teetering, right? Like, water is coming on board.
Yeah.
And it's starting to fill fast.
And your feet are wet. They're not grabbing buckets, man. That's the problem. You have to sense that the ship is sinking and make a change, right? Yeah. And they're not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, to your first point or first question you asked at this point, what do you do, right? I want to see heads roll. I know that won't fix anything, but it'll at least make me feel better. But in terms of changing the trajectory, right? You're not going to install a brand new offense. Now, maybe a different play caller could, at least mix things up enough, put a little wrinkle here and there so you're not so predictable. I believe it was the fourth down play in San Francisco where the defender that made the play later said, he saw the motion, knew exactly where it was going or something along those lines. Like, it's not just these media personnel, commentators talking about how bland and dull and predictable the playbook is. Players from other teams, other defenses are flat out telling you they know what's coming almost every play.
Yeah.
At least the crucial downs.
They should feel embarrassed by that, right?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. If players are now, again, that's their job, but it's also your job to fool them, to have some variety, to be unpredictable, and that's just not where we are right now with Zach Robinson.
Yeah. And I don't think it's like a gimmick, like a magician magic trick, trying to fool them, sleight of hand. It's just having enough variety to where what's coming next could be a number of things, and you're not tipping your plays, right? Like, that's a pitcher's number one worry is that they're tipping pitches, because you start tipping pitches and the other team starts teeing off on you. Well, we're getting teed off on offense, and it doesn't help that we've had the injuries on defense. It doesn't help that we've had some injuries on offense, and some significant ones. And the offensive line isn't doing us any justice.
Right. Um, do you make? I mean, we talked about that last week a little bit, right? You want a lineman in the trade market.
If
Is
you
that
can
still
get a
fair?
veteran, absolutely, but you need a starter, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't need to go get someone's backup to back up the guys that you already got, right? Like you need someone that you're going to plug and play. Um,
Hmm.
the real disheartening thing, and I saw this on a clip earlier, is you look at our draft last year, right? Jalen Walker, James Pierce, excited about those guys, excited about the potential that they have to fortify our defense for years to come. But they gave up our first round pick next year for James Pierce. And I don't feel like we're getting the return on that value as it stands today, especially if this team is going to fall apart and be in the bottom half of the draft. Right? Like
Right.
you took that gamble under the premise that you were going to be picking in the late 20s. Anything under
Hmm.
that, you're not getting the value for that pick. And now I think we're sitting at like 17th overall if we were to draft today. You're not going to get a guy to fill one of these holes that you have.
No, you're not. Now, I'm more hopeful about the off season just because we will have money again. So we could sign a top flight lineman, right? Back up to bring Struck and get somebody in here that's going to change that offensive line as opposed to drafting somebody. So I'm not as worried about that draft pick because honestly I think Terry stays on. I would like him to. James Pierce, yeah, he's not producing at that level yet. But you didn't support this point with that, but we're not yet there to that inflection point to where you can say his trade was a loss, a negative one, right?
And
He can still come on pretty strong and see where he ends up.
he
Whereas
can.
Jalen Walker, he hasn't played, right? He's hurt, and I don't know. We have so many defensive linemen between the last two drafts. JD Bertrand is not a defensive lineman. He don't even look like he's an NFL quarterback or linebacker. Right? They just attack him and attack him and attack him and attack him. It was getting redundant. Their offense became predictable. Just knowing where JD Bertrand was, you could tell that the ball was going to go there because he was a liability, man. There's nothing good to say. The other storyline we were talking about was Kirk, right? I was hoping that since he did have to start, maybe he would show out and become trade bait, and he did not. And I won't even say all of that is Kirk's fault, but he definitely didn't. He didn't excel in the opportunities that he did have. The offense was going to be bland just because of who's running it, but he missed a bunch of throws. He looked nervous. So Kirk is around. I don't think he did enough to get a job.
I agree with you. I will say credit goes to Miami because they were hitting him early and often. They were in his face very fast and it rattled him. And it
Oh
got in
yeah,
his head early and there was a play at a crucial moment in the game in the first half where he overthrew Darnell Mooney, but there was someone breathing down his neck. Now, he's an NFL quarterback. He needs to stand in there, take that lick, and make that throw. But I can at least understand that it was accumulation of things that had already transpired that led to that overthrow.
yeah. Ah, what else is there to say about these birds, man? I think. I mean, it's a long season. So the next game is the Berlin game. Is it the
No, we
Colts?
go New England and then
New England. That's what you said.
Berlin. Yeah. One thing I wanted to say though, before we maybe change topics a little bit, you mentioned we're gonna get some money off the books with Kurt leaving, but you're also staring down, having to re-sign a guy like Drake London. Bijan's gonna be up for a contract soon. I don't know how long uh, Penix has. I think you get 5 years under the rookie contract if you're a first rounder or within, certain pick. So we may still have a few years there before we need to start thinking about his deal. But then you have the Kyle Pitts conundrum, which I think you and I both probably agree that he's probably gone for financial reasons more than anything else after this year. But having to re-sign, a Drake London and a Bijan Robinson shortly kind of worries me about what we'll be able to do from a free agent standpoint. Even with all that money off the books, how much of it's going to go to those staple players that you're benefiting from right now being under rookie deals?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's why they have windows, right? Like, that's why there are windows in the NFL, and majority of teams who succeed do so under a time frame which they've got guys playing at a high level under smaller contracts.
yeah. Yeah. So I looked up the highest paid running back in the league right now on an annual basis. And it's Saquon Barkley. He's at $20 million a year. Next was Christian McCaffrey, 19. Now those guys are a little longer too, but Jonathan Taylor, who is absolutely dominating right now, is at 14 million. So I think you can't trick it off, right?
Is JT still under his I think JT's still under his rookie deal too.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's 26. Let's see. Maybe he is. No, he got an extension. 3-year, 42 million. In 23, October 23. So, I mean, that's encouraging. I brought that up to say, even if Bijan tops out at the highest paid back, he's probably looking at 25. That's half of what Kurt had in the year. Wide receivers, though, do get paid. But is Drake, is he in line to be? Bijan is going to get paid, and he'll probably be, by the time his number comes, he'll probably be the highest paid running back in the league. Drake, although a solid number one, he's not top 10 wide receiver, so he's not going to get top 10 money. Right? We don't have to worry about him getting like the 40 million that Jamar Chase got a year.
I don't know how old this is. It's a couple years old. But at this point in time, Devonta Smith was the number 10th, and he was 25 mil a year. So you're probably looking at 25 to 30 for Drake. So between the two of them, that's probably 50, 60 of the 80 million coming off the books.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if we do Bijan yet, right? Like, we may have a year or two before we have to. But
I think Kyle's gone, to your point. Bijan's going to eat some of that money for sure, and Drake's going to eat some of it as well. But I think that there's still going to be enough to fix some holes, because you're not looking to fix holes on defense. You've revamped your secondary, you've drafted your defensive line, and you think you have pieces in the linebacker. Like Caden Ellis, I think he got an extension.
He did.
Yeah, Caden Ellis got an extension. Um, well, the deal runs through 2025. He got an extension in 23, so he's gonna have to get paid. But I mean, he's not. I don't think he's gonna command a ton of money. You're not. You shouldn't have to spend a whole bunch of money on the defensive side of the ball after
No.
what you did in the draft. Otherwise, Terry did not cook. On the offensive side of the ball, you do have Michael Penix under control for another 3 years without having to sign him. Um, Drake London's going to need some money at some point. Bijan, but from there, feels like you could allocate a solid chunk of that to an offensive lineman, a ready-made, maybe Pro Bowl offensive lineman coming in and trying to right that side of the ship.
Yeah, you also need you need a running mate for Drake, right? You need another wide receiver, and if Kyle Pitts is gone, you're going to need a tight end. I don't know if you watched that game last night.
Those I think you can draft.
Which
game last night?
The only game, the Steelers Packers game.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yesterday was coin tight end day.
Tight end day, yeah.
Kraft absolutely game wrecked last night. I bring it up to say, a tight end can be a game changer, can be a game wrecker on the offensive side of the ball if you get it right. George Kittle did it for years. Travis Kelce did it for years. Sam Laporta has done it. Kraft looks like he's, going to be another one. Brock Bowers. There's a handful of them in the league that in the highest moments of their careers, they have been game wreckers.
I think you can draft those because they're not going to be both the help for Drake as well as a tight end. Vanderbilt's, I texted you about this kid because I was watching the Vanderbilt game, not this weekend, but the weekend before. He's just a massive guy, and he seemed like he had real good hands. Yeah, 6'4", 234. It was a taller guy than that. But I think you can draft somebody at the tight end spot. You don't have to come back in and sign, a Pro Bowl tight end. And the same thing with the wide receiver, right? Like, look at Lad McConkey. Lad went second round, third round.
I don't know.
Do you remember?
Let's see. People were sleeping on Lad. Those true Georgia faithful knew exactly what we had in Lad McConkey. And now the NFL is seeing it. He was second round.
Second round. See, if you can get somebody like that, right? You have to win, but I mean, and it takes a good bit of luck drafting the right player. But this kid gives me hope. Like he is an absolute beast. He is routing the shit out of people, and great possession receiver. That's what we need for Drake London. Somebody that's just going to be available for every other ball. Darnell Mooney, that guy. He's the speedster, the over the top guy.
If there was one bright side of the offense yesterday, I thought it was Kyle Pitts. He got a lot of those opportunities to be a possession tight end, and he did, I think, do an admirable job when his name was called, right?
Yeah, 9 catches. Might be his biggest day ever.
How many yards?
59. And no touchdown. He still only has the one touchdown, man. He's got to give us, year 5. He owes us at least 4 more.
Well, he's got plenty of games for that left in the way. So
So what did in his presser did Raheem talk about the injuries? Did he talk about
I didn't see the presser. I didn't watch it. It was on. They went live on Instagram, but I never watch them. But I did read that comment about being confident in the staff. So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
see the article now? It does look like he provided an update. This list of people who were hurt. I didn't even realize Jesse Bates went out during the game.
I didn't know he went out during the game either.
Yeah, lost safety Jesse Bates during the game. We're out without Jalen Walker, Billy Bowman Jr., Zach Harrison, Michael Penix, Drake London. Let's see. I have to see. There's no more information. It's not a serious injury for Bates, so he's day to day.
I didn't think it was
Realistically, that's just everybody else as well. They're all day to day.
I didn't
That
think it
means
was a
nothing.
serious injury with Michael Penix either, and he didn't play. They freaking trotted Tua out there with a swollen eye. Like, I'm not trying to get Michael Penix injured seriously, but come on, man.
Where's your toughness? I don't know. Storm Norton was hurt. Says Jalen Walker is potentially coming back this week with Billy Bowman.
We need Divine Diablo.
Dog, I mean, watching the team without him, it's night and day.
I think it's because, and not to take anything away from Divine and what he's doing, but there's such a tremendous drop off between him and JD Bertrand, right? Like, if you had somebody in there that was like halfway competent, like, I don't think we would be saying what we're saying. But maybe still, I mean, he was balling. He was out there balling.
Yeah, it was. It looks like Storm Norton, another offensive lineman, is coming back. He said he's really close. So, I mean, maybe one of these injuries, these players returning from injury will help right the ship. But to your earlier point, it just doesn't get any easier.
No,
The
we
Patriots
got
are a tough out right now, and the Colts are a tough out. The Panthers are then next, and they beat us 30-0. You know,
then we got Nola,
New Orleans at the Jets.
which losing the
Zero
Jets
confidence.
would be
You gotta fire him. Bad day. If you lose to the Jets, you gotta go ahead and cut back.
I feel like that if you lose to New Orleans. And Tyler Slow.
Is it him or Spencer Rattler?
He got benched
Both of them are
yesterday.
playing like trash. Did he?
Yeah, Spencer got benched yesterday. I don't think Tyler has played much. But just based off of comments I heard from their head coach, they like some things they saw from him.
From Tyler?
Yeah. But yeah, you lose to New Orleans, you lose to the Jets. I mean, fire them all. Just don't show up for the next however many weeks after that. 6 weeks.
Yeah, the 1-7 Saints.
And the 1-7 Jets, because they got their first win.
Yeah,
yesterday.
They got their first win.
Yeah.
1-7 Jets. Like all those other games are going to be so important. Like the Seahawks game is going to be huge. The Rams game is going to be huge because we're going to have to compete with those guys for a playoff spot.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's a tough day to be a Falcons fan. Not that it's ever easy to be a Falcons fan, but it was especially tough yesterday, last night, and then today. Just there isn't any positivity coming out of any local coverage, any national coverage. You went on last week and said that you needed some consistency from this team, and they gave us some consistency.
They damn sure did.
But not in the right direction. And it sure does feel at this moment that the sky is falling. But hopefully they turn it around. Hopefully that they just had another anomaly for a third time this season. No, but for real, hopefully they get their act together. If Raheem wants to keep his job, they better perform. He may not keep it even if they do perform. But he dang sure needs to prove something to me and the rest of the fan base in the next couple weeks. I do think you go out, you get a win versus New England, you get a win versus Indy, and you string together 2 wins against some top opponents. Our tune will be singing a different tune. Maybe not.
Yeah, it'll be a different hat, right?
Yeah. We may not be all the way back, ready to ride that high, train, but we'll certainly be a lot closer to that than we are right now. Right now we're living in the dumps, right?
Yeah. I need something to root for, man. A win will help. A win in these next 2 games would help because at this point, I'm not actually expecting it. It'd be a welcome surprise, and maybe that level of surprise can change my heart, man.
I don't want the Falcon season to turn into another Braves where we're halfway through and I'm over it, right? And I'm just not watching anymore, right? Like I just completely tune it out. Have to move on to the Hawks. At least they have a lot to play for right now. It's very, very early in the season. Still got a lot of high hopes for what they can accomplish this year.
I mean, they're 1-2. We're not going to go full into the Hawks because we can really end it. But we've lost Porzingis and Jalen Johnson. Hopefully, it's minor things, but that just doesn't bode well either. I hope that means that Quinn Snyder's going to at least give Asa Newell some spin. Right, I think he'd be a perfect running mate for Trey, but we shall see. I actually want to see if either one of them play tonight. They're playing right now. The Hawks are right now.
Porzingis has 12 minutes. Jalen has 15. Risha Shea has 10. Dyson has 14. Nikhil Alexander-Walker has 12. Nothing for Asa Newell.
No, if they're playing, he's not for sure.
It's hard for me to take those injuries seriously in the NBA. Not to dive down that rabbit hole, but there's so much load management and like manipulation of playtime and stuff that goes on nowadays that unless it's like a serious like long-term injury, like missing a night here and there isn't concerning to me. It will become a concern if it becomes, a missed month or, 3 weeks. But right now, sitting a night out here
those
and
two
there.
guys, it feels like a slippery slope just because of their history.
For sure.
Tell me it's load management, right? Tell me that you're,
they can't. They're not allowed to do that anymore.
Well, don't do me with these injuries. Not an ankle and flu bug. I ain't trying to hear all that, man. But I digress. They're winning right now. Go Hawks. Give us something to cheer for in Atlanta. Because right now we got nothing, man.
Mr. Blank, we know you're tuning in. listen, make us proud. Make some changes. This is unacceptable, and we will not stand for it. I'm going to get in my boy's pocketbook very soon and sell them tickets for him. I'm sick of it. I've had 8 years of disappointment. Actually, I've had a lifetime of disappointment as a Falcons fan. But the past 8 years have been extremely hard. And we're just over it as a fan base. And if you don't make a change, we will. And we'll speak with our wallet.
Hear, hear. 100% agree.
So if you agree, you must like, subscribe, leave us a comment, and smash that notification bell. We appreciate all y'all listening, being with us through thick and thin. We are ride or die with our home teams. We feel all the emotion, all the pain and suffering, and the highs and the lows. And right now it's a really difficult time, but hopefully, God willing, things are on the rise. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the coming weeks. Till then, catch you on the next one.
Catch you on the flips, man. Rise up as high as you can.
Peace.
See you later.